Hi, Foothill second graders. This is Miss Bader, your yoga and mindfulness teacher. I will be recording videos for you this school year, and I hope you are having a great first day of school. Well, I hope you all had a nice summer. I know that it wasn't what any of us expected it to be. You probably weren't able to do all the things you would have liked to have done or seen all of the people you would have liked to have seen, but I hope you were still able to have a nice time. And I'm really happy to be able to practice yoga and mindfulness with you again this year at Foothill. And hopefully, we'll get to do it in person at some point during the school year. In the meanwhile, I will keep recording videos for you. If you have any special requests, please let me know. You can let your teachers know. They can pass that on to me, and I'm happy to incorporate anything that you would like to see. Anyway, for those of you who've taken yoga with me before, you know that yoga and mindfulness practices are great ways to deal with anxiety or stress. Maybe some of you are feeling a little nervous or uncertain about starting school with remote learning, or maybe you're just a little frustrated that you can't do the things you want to do. So I'm going to introduce a few practices. Some we've done before, a few maybe we haven't, but all of these are good tools to keep in your toolbox for calming your mind and your body. The first one we're going to do is what's called mindful breathing. And you'll remember mindfulness just means paying attention to something on purpose. So when we pay attention to our breath, that slows down our heart rate, slows blood pressure, sends a signal to our bodies and our brains to calm down. So we're going to start by one hand on the belly, one hand on the chest. And you can picture your belly as a balloon. So it's going to inflate when you inhale and take a breath. Your belly should expand. And then as you exhale, you're going to feel that balloon deflate. So we'll do a few rounds of this together. You can close your eyes if you'd like. You can keep them open, whatever is the most relaxing for you. So you're going to inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. You want to slow your breathing down. Sometimes it's helpful to do a count. So maybe you count to 4 on each inhale and each exhale. So it would be inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Whatever helps. Inhale, exhale. All right, so we're going to move on to a couple things that will be good for all of the times we're going to be sitting in our desks on a screen. And that's going to kind of help wake our bodies up. We're gonna start with some shoulder circles, because sometimes when we sit at a computer too long, we end up hunching our shoulders up towards our ears, even rounding our upper backs. And so we want to counteract that. So we're going to start, the shoulders go up, forward, down, and back. You can move your arms, but we're sort of exaggerating the movement. Shoulders way up by our ears. You can move your arms in big circles. You can not move your arms at all and just do. You're gonna go the opposite direction. Can't remember which way I started. You guys started that way. That's what happens when you get old. You forget these things. So whichever direction you started, you're now going to do the opposite directions. Another good one are wrist circles. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to start going in one direction. There's no right or wrong way to do this. And then switch directions. So go the opposite. You can also keep your hands together. That's one way to do it. Or you can keep them separate. Okay. All right. And another pose or yoga method that I find really relaxing and stress relieving is good old child's pose. So we'll review how we get into child's pose. So remember our all fours pose, tabletop. You can untuck your toes. You want to bring your knees open wide. Bring your big toes so that they're touching, and you're going to sit back on your heels. Lower your forehead to the mat. Arms straight out in front of you. And another modification to this that I sometimes find a little more relaxing, you can sit up a little bit and then you want to bring both arms in between your knees so that your knees are hugging your outer arms. Sometimes this feels nice and comforting as you kind of curl up into a little ball. You can have one cheek on the mat. You can have your chin on the mat. You can turn it to the other side. And then you're slowly going to come out. And then I have another pose that I really like to do here. So back to your tabletop. And then you're going to lift I'm going to start with my right arm, but you can really do either arm. And you're going to reach it out to the side, straight out, and it's going to be parallel to the floor. And then you're going to bring that arm underneath your stomach, and you're going to kind of slide the back of your hand along the mat or the floor. You're going to lower that shoulder down to the mat. Rest the side of your head on the mat. Hips are up towards the sky. And then you can take this free hand and maybe reach it up over your head if that feels good. Or you can just bring your hand in front of your face, whatever feels good, but this is a nice, relaxing, calming stretch. You're going to come out of it slowly, back to tabletop, and you're going to switch. The opposite arm is going to reach out to the side, and then you're going to bring that arm underneath your body, skimming the top of that hand along the floor, lowering that shoulder to the mat. Maybe the free arm reaches up overhead. Maybe it stays just in front of your face. Whatever feels most comfortable. You can tuck your toes. You can keep them untucked. You're going to come back up to tabletop. And I'm going to show you one of my very favorite poses. And sometimes when I have a hard time sleeping, I will do this pose, and it is called legs up the wall. So I'm pretty sure you can figure out what we're doing here. But the best way to get into it is to come up next to a wall, scoot yourself as close to the wall as possible, and then there's lots of different ways to come into this, so you kind of find what works the best for you. For me, I kind of scoot myself forward and lay down on my back. I stretch my legs up, and then I kind of scoot myself so that my bottom is up against the wall. My back is flat on the floor. Arms can be by your sides, kind of like when we're in Shavasana with the backs of your hands on the floor. And you will probably find your body relaxing, your mind relaxing when you're in this pose. Legs are straight and you're as close to the wall as possible. You can also bring your arms up into cactus arms. Sometimes that feels a little more relaxing. And you can come out in whatever way feels most comfortable. I tend to bend my knees, roll over to the side, push myself back up. Another good pose for stress relief or anxiety relief is our favorite downward facing dog. So hands on the mat if you're using a mat or the floor, fingers are spread wide like starfish, your toes are tucked, so toes are on the mat, heels are pointed up to the sky. And move your knees back just a little bit further than if you were just staying tabletop. And then push into your hands, push into your feet, lift your hips up, arms are straight, legs are straight, hips are up to the sky. You want picture your heels as if they had magnets and they were trying to find the floor. For me, mine don't quite get there, but that's something we can always work on. Legs are straight. Tops of your thighs are pushing upward. Fingers are spread wide. You're gripping the mat with your fingertips and your knuckles. You can walk your dog like we've done before, pedaling your feet one at a time, bending one knee and then the other. And come back down to your tabletop. And sometimes you need a little bit of grounding or calming, which is what we just did. Sometimes you need a little burst of energy. Sometimes you've been sitting too long and you need to just move your body. So I like to do sun salutations because that gets my heart rate up, that gets my body moving. So we'll run through a round of sun salutations. You'll also remember, probably done it with all of you, shakeout. So we'll do a shakeout after sun salutations. So come to your tabletop. Fingers are spread wide like starfish. You're gripping the mat with your tiger paws, with your fingertips and your knuckles. And move your knees back, making sure your toes are tucked. You're going to inhale, lift up to downward facing dog. Then you're going to walk your feet up to meet your hands. Bend your knees if you need to. If you're able to straighten your legs and still keep your fingertips on the mat, go ahead and do that. But if that is hurting your hamstrings, go ahead and bend your knees. Or if you have yoga blocks, which I do not have here, you can also have yoga blocks on your mat and rest your hands on there. That brings the floor a little closer to you. And then you're going to push into your feet. Inhale, rise all the way up, and my head is cut off. Exhale, hands to heart, and we are in mountain, which is where we start for sun salutations. So remember, mountain is an active pose. So we are engaging these quadriceps, engaging your calf muscles. So strong legs, shoulders away from your ears, shoulder blades hugged together on your backs. And all of your muscles, your biceps, your triceps, all of the muscles in your arms and legs should be engaged here. If I came over and tried to push you over, I'd have a hard time because you're standing strong and tall like a mountain. And from our mountain pose, we inhale, arms up to the sky. You can't really see them right now, but know that my arms are both up. My palms are facing each other. And then I'm gonna swan dive down. So arms wide and come back down to a forward fold. Inhale, keeping fingertips on the mat or hands on your shins. You want to get a flat back. You're looking forward. And then fold all the way in, palms on the mat. You can bend your knees. And then you want to step back to a plank or the top of a push-up. Fingers are still spread wide, and we want to make sure that we don't dip too low or have hips too high. We want to be like a solid plank. Arms are strong, legs are strong. You have two options for coming down. You can either do knees, chest, chin, and then straighten out. Or second option is to do full chaturanga. So you want to bend your elbows and lower slowly all the way down. Untuck your toes. Your elbows are pointing up towards the sky. Your elbows are hugging in towards your body. You're going to push down on the tops of your feet so that this takes the pressure out of your lower back. You're going to push into your hands and push into your feet, keeping your pelvis pushed into the mat or the floor. You're going to inhale, lift your torso up, shoulders are away from ears. Nice strong arms. And then you're going to lower down, tuck your toes, lift hips up and back for puppy pose, extended puppy pose. And then you're going to push back up into downward facing dog again. You can either hop quietly to the front of your mat, or you can do what we did earlier, which is just walk your feet up to meet your hands. And then you're going to push into your feet, inhale, rise all the way up, arms up to the sky. Again, you can't see my arms. And then I'm going to bring my hands back to my heart in Anjali Mudra. We're going to do that one more time, moving a little faster now that we've reviewed it. So standing at the front of your mat, strong mountain pose, strong arms, strong legs, shoulder blades hugging together on your back, shoulders away from ears. Inhale, arms up to the sky. Exhale, out and down, swan dive down to the mat. Inhale, hands to shins or fingertips on the mat, flat back. Exhale, place your palms down on the mat, step back to a plank. Whichever way you're doing it, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga, all the way down. Untuck toes, push into your hands, push into the tops of your feet and your pelvis. Inhale, come up for Cobra, Bhujangasana. Those of you who practiced with me last year know that we always did a snake breath here, so you can do that here. Inhale. All the way down, tuck toes, push back into puppy pose, looking out over your fingertips, and push back up, downward facing dog. Step or hop forward to the front of your mat. Push into your heels, inhale, rise all the way up, exhale, hands to heart. And let's come back down. We'll do a Baddha Konasana or butterfly. So you want to bring the soles of your feet together. For a little bit of a deeper stretch, bring your feet closer to your body. A little bit less of a stretch, you can bring your feet away from you. And you can flap your butterfly wings. Also get a little bit more of a stretch in here, so bring your fingertips out in front of you and see how far you can walk yourself out there. If it hurts, you want to ease back because we want to stretch, but we don't want to feel any pain. And then when you're ready, sit back up. We will finish out today with Shavasana. We all love Shavasana. And Shavasana is another great way to calm your brain, calm your mind, calm your body. So we're going to come to a supine position, which means we're lying down on your back. And you want to make sure that there's nothing touching your arms or your legs. You want to be completely free from anything nearby. Palms are facing up to the sky. You want to let your feet splay out. So if you're using your muscles to hold your feet up, you want to release that tension, release those muscles. When you're not using the muscles, your feet will automatically splay out. So you want to do that. Shoulders away from your ears, palms facing up to the sky. You want to release all the muscle tension in your body as if you are melting into the mat or the floor. Your whole body gets heavy. Close your eyes. Focus on your breath. Feel on the inhale, feel your belly rise as the air fills your lungs. On the exhale, as your belly flattens. Keep your body as still as possible without moving. Try and clear your mind as much as possible. Understanding, of course, that you're never going to be able to clear it completely. What you want to be able to do is when a thought pops into your mind, you want to just let it float away without giving it any judgment. And you can stay here as long as you want. Move on to one more thing I want to show you today. So when you're ready to come out, you're going to just bring some movement slowly back into your bodies by wiggling fingers, wiggling toes. And then your right arm is going to reach up overhead. Rest your arm on the floor or the mat. You're going to bend one knee at a time. Feet are on the mat. And you're going to roll over to the right side. You're going to rest your head on your arm, that right arm. Maybe take a breath or two here. And use your left hand, the top hand. Place it on the floor in front of your head. And then push yourself up so that you're back in a seated position. And then, so those were all some good relaxation poses, and then we added a little energy burst with our sun salutations. And I want to review, we've done it before, but our shakeout, because this is a good thing to keep in mind when you've been sitting too long and you just need to get your bodies moving. So I'm going to stand up, even though it's probably going to cut my head off again. Well, not as much if I stand back here. So remember, our shakeout is we count backwards from 5. So we start with one arm and we move over to the other, and then one leg, move over to the other. So first arm, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You can shake as much as you want. Get as much energy as possible out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then we're going to go 4, 3, 2, 1. 4, 3, 2, 1. 4, 3, 2, 1. 4, 3, 2, 1. And it gets a little tricky to balance sometimes. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 1. 1, 1, 1, 1. And then shake your whole body. See if you can get everything to move. And nice work, everybody. And I will close out. If you have any questions, please ask your teachers. I'm in touch with all of them. They can pass on any of your questions or requests. We're going to have at least one video a week with different types of yoga and mindfulness activities. And that's it for now. So I'll close out. We'll inhale, arms up to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart. Bring your hands to your forehead to remember kind thoughts. Hands to your mouth to remember kind words. Hands to your heart to remember kind actions. And namaste. Thanks, boys and girls. I hope you are having a great first day of school, and I will see you again soon.